Good morning, everyone. A pleasure to be here with you. Now, after listening to Sheref's presentation, I believe that maybe it could have been better to have him after me, because I'm going to present basically challenges that we face at the regional level, and I believe that he provided an answer to some of those. But well, let me go with this. So that was not me. My presentation is split into three main sections. So very briefly, something about Catalonia for those of you that don't know the country. The second part is in regards of the current healthcare AI landscape and the promise of all this AI that it's everywhere. And then the last part basically relates to the challenges and how do we believe this can be solved for, which is the approach that we are taking here at the Catalan level. So basically, in here, what I would highlight is that Catalonia is a very fragmented ecosystem of healthcare provider organizations. This is, I would say, very different to the other regions of Spain, in which you mostly have a single service provider organization covering all healthcare levels. Here, due to the historical evolution of the Catalan healthcare ecosystem, and also because this has been historically an industry and a wealthy region, healthcare, I would say, systems or providers developed around this idea. So we have, you should imagine, healthcare organizations dating back to year 1600. And this adds complexity to what I will explain later on. We have here a long tradition of health information technologies. This is and the adoption of health information technologies. This is quite a recent paper, a retrospective that we did for the last 25 years of health IT in Catalonia. But you must understand that what we name the first wave of digitalization, which for us is all of our providers running electronic medical records, this was finalized back in year 2000. And from there, well, we've been trying to improve our information systems. We centrally, from the Catalan NHS, we've been trying to be the glue sticking all these information systems lying at our service provider organizations. And I have to say that it's quite complex. You must understand that we in Catalonia have, only in the specialized care setting, we have 28 different EMR products or vendors, which makes, imagine, when trying to build a longitudinal health record, adds a lot of complexity. Back in year 2009, we already had what we named the Shared Electronic Health Record of Catalonia. It's a health information exchange, basically building from all the other, from all of our local EMRs with the vertical view. The Shared Electronic Health Record of Catalonia aims to have this longitudinal view. Lately, we are moving into the idea of federated platforms, and the idea of federated platforms is taking advantage of economies of scale, wherever we can take advantage of cloud infrastructure, data processing environments, and also cheaper hard disk storage, and also improved, I would say, security of the data. So we are doing this in digital pathology, in digital imaging, and all the omics data. Everything is stored in central repositories, and then our providers just have a node that is able to access the central repository. So we don't have any more hospitals that have their own data processing center storing all of this. They have data processing centers, but they store less things more and more often. You know that lately we've been moving towards the idea of the open platform, but you know that the world doesn't stop rolling, and we are completely attacked, I would say, everywhere that we are, our providers and also ourselves centrally at the Catalan NHS, with plenty of different startup industries that come with data products, you name it. I mean, it's predictive models, it's AI solutions, it's medical scribes, it's all sorts of different solutions that they want us to plug in into our very already complicated infrastructure. So the promise of all these solutions, you know, that it's cyclical. It's now again we are in the hype. Investments made in these technologies are huge. I believe that with the emergence of the large language models, this has advanced a lot, and their capability to summarize things, I mean, it's commendable, and we need to acknowledge this. We started having or seeing solutions having a real impact in healthcare, especially in all these pieces of software that are able to process imaging, especially. We are lucky that at least in digital imaging, we've been able to agree on a common format, and therefore all these algorithms that are built in there, they are more or less portable. Doesn't matter wherever they are trained, you can port them elsewhere, but well, we have a lot of solutions for diagnostics. We have now a lot of new offerings. Now the latest one is ambient scribing, so basically having an Alexa, microphone, whatever in the patient in the consultation, and then having this technology to listen to the conversation, and then well, drafting the clinical notes, and eventually some of them start to structure the information. And well, we are also playing around trying to structure this information into openEHR, which is tricky depending on the complexity of the templates that are behind this. Then all of these solutions, I mean, the promise of such solutions are huge. This is basically taken from the European Health Data Space Regulation. This is the piece of news that the European Commission puts everywhere else. I mean, there's a lot of business to be made in here. If we, as Europeans, are able to distinguish ourselves from what, I mean, the Americans do, from what the Chinese do, it's two different markets. I mean, we like regulation. The Chinese consider data a public good, and that's a public good, and that's, I mean, they use it systematically. The Americans, it's also more free market. We need to see whether we are able to achieve the numbers that are promised to be achieved in the context of the European health data space. But the reality is what it is. I mean, in this context that I was mentioning of such a fragmentation, specifically in this region, and I believe that this is common elsewhere, we have a lot of different providers with different capabilities. They have constraints in budgets, they have different IT teams, they are dealing with different legacy systems, and well, as I said before, they are attacked wherever they can, or they allow themselves by many different vendors that are trying to, well, get these things connected. And well, hospital CEOs, most of the times they are pure medical doctors that do not understand these things, but well, eventually they like shiny things. They want to plug these things into their installations. And I say that this is a problem that it's an N plus or multiplication N problem, in which we have all these different solutions. We have to do a lot of adaptations into each of them, see in which data have been trained, prepare a data set in which they can run on top, and then plug them in and see whether they perform or not. So whether the validity after the original validation continues to be the same. And this is very complex and very costly for the ecosystem. We need to acknowledge that I believe that the OMOP world has been quite successful in this, because they have managed to find a common data model in which they train, even though it's not very complete, it works for them. They train the algorithms on top of that, and then, well, the portability in between systems is more or less ensured. So you have a data set that has been homologated into OMOP it's very likely that the thing, the algorithm, the data product will perform the same in your installation, taking aside the biases of your population. But mostly in our ecosystem, this is not happening, and it's costing us a lot of effort and a lot of complexity. I mean, this is possibly the best place or the worst place to explain this, because I believe that almost everyone in the audience understands the problem. This is quite a recent paper in which, researchers acknowledge that most of these FDA-approved algorithms, AI products, data products whatsoever, are highly dependent on the data in which they have been trained, not only by the differences on the populations, but also because of the semantics of the data in which they have been trained. And then in the paper, they recognize that very few of them can be exported directly outside of the environment in which they have been trained. And that's the problem. The problem is that we have a lot of data in real, but we know very few about this data, and this data possibly most of the times we can unlock all of its power, or at least make it become information. And the underpinning problem is semantic incoherence. This is some extracts that I got at the beginning this morning. I was mentioning this beautiful book chapter that was written by Evelyn Obenga. She's there, and also Tom Bill, that I don't see if he's in the room. And I recommend reading this. I mean, the problem of semantic incoherence that is described in here, I have taken directly from this book chapter, and it's common in our ecosystem, and I believe that's partly why all of us are in this very same room. So this semantic barrier is posing us a lot of challenges for this. I would say it's pieces of software at the end, right? It doesn't make a huge difference with any other software product. The only thing is that it's taking data in computable format and trying to make an interpretation and provide us different insights, and we use different terminologies. We represent clinical knowledge within the technical landscape in different ways, and this poses a big problem for the circulation of this. Every time that we get one of these algorithms, I believe that we spend, possibly in every other project, I mean, we have accounted for this, and we aim to publish this anytime soon, but we spend in between 60 to 90% of a project implementing one of these new AI algorithms from a vendor, MDR certified or not. We spend 60 to 90% of the time of the project doing technical adaptations to the thing. And the technical adaptations to the thing are whether the thing is going to perform the same on top of our new data set, but also transforming the data that needs to fit the data product in some cases. Not all of them fit from data, some of them just give counsel, but the ones that fit from the original data in our systems, we need to do a lot of reinterpretation of the data, and we need to reach an agreement on these semantics. And every time that we reach this agreement or we do this reinterpretation, well, there's the semantic loss that I'm sure that you are very aware of. So I believe, and Sheref has given us a proposal on how to solve this. I believe the proposal is not that different to the proposal that we have with the idea of the open platform, when we want to plug in different pieces of software with the idea of following the idea of an open ecosystem that is using open standards. I mean, we are in the left side, and that's what we've been doing over the years. With limited and with a lot of effort, we try to link all these different systems, try to make something comprehensive, but this takes a lot of effort, also with data products. You have the option in the middle, which is the big vendor monolith solution. The Americans like this a lot, and then at least some of them. And then we have the approach that we believe is the right one. I also believe this approach, the one that uses open standards, the one that uses open APIs is the one that possibly could serve the purpose of fixing such a situation. And you know that also. I mean, I'm in a forum in which all these things you know. I believe that if we move towards the idea of the open platform in which we have this stack of technology that is vendor neutral, in which we use open standards to represent clinical knowledge within the technical landscape, linking or having, I would say, seamless binding with terminologies and standard vocabularies. At the end, I believe that we have this infrastructure that should be future-proof and resilient to change. So this is my last one. I think that, this is the consumer market, right? That is driving all these different solutions. It has happened also with the wellness devices. And you must imagine that when you sit at a regional level, at a country level, and you try to implement these things, we are not and will never be fast enough to follow the pace of the market. Our bureaucratic processes are long, they are very constrained, and we are not very effective in embracing innovation. You know that innovations within the healthcare sector take a lot of years to be fully implemented in routine care, and this is a barrier. We believe that the approach of the open platform and the approach similar to the one that Sharef was mentioning before could be a solution to fix this situation, and I would say be a lever or be an accelerator towards the adoption of such solutions in routine care. So for us to be able to increase the pace as opposite to proprietary solutions and lock-in. So we here in Catalonia are building this. As I mentioned this morning, we have very big ongoing tenders that have the objective of opening up our architecture. So third parties from wherever can come with their pieces of software, can come with their pieces of data products and plug them in directly in our infrastructure, giving very clear rules on how to interact with this infrastructure since the very beginning. So a process being fully transparent, and then being able to create this market economy or this platform economy that, again, Evelyn and Tom describe very nicely in this book chapter. So this is all I wanted to say, and well, I'm really looking forward for the discussion at the panel with colleagues. Thank you.
Thanks, Jordi.